Tonight on Greeny Sports Cards Live, Olympic gold medalist Katie Moon joins the show, renowned artist Jordan Spector, hobby news, card show live, and so much more. Coming right up on Greeny Sports Cards Live.
You make this rather snappy, won't you? I have some very heavy thinking to do before 10 o'clock.
All right, welcome into another edition of Greeny Sports Cards Live. This is episode 111, and it never fails. This is a live show. We go live every week, as we've done for the last 2 years plus, here on Tuesday nights from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern. And there's always a little glitch to work out, but somehow we navigate it, and we continue to do this and fight on week over week. And we join you as the world's very first multi-stream broadcast for the hobby, as Greeny and I have done, as I said, well over 2.5 years now. And we continue to bring you athletes and influencers and coaches and personalities from the hobby world. We'll bring you hobby news and hobby hits. And then, of course, all the card shows that are taking place around the world that just continue to get bigger and better throughout. We're going to take you around the country this week. We hit Bloomington, Illinois. We hit St. Louis, Missouri. We're going to hit the VB Card Show, which is the longest running monthly show in Massachusetts. It's been going on for about 37 years. We've got a couple other shows that Greeny will highlight. And of course, it is our favorite week of the year here in Northeast Ohio for the hobby community. It is time for the Great Lakes Collectors Convention coming up this weekend, April 10th through 12th. And this year, as we have been shouting from the rooftops, we are co-locating with the Strongsville Sports Collectors Convention, which is the longest running vintage show in the country. It is going to be one epic weekend for the hobby community. There are over 500 tables in the Independence Fieldhouse. There is a vintage pavilion. There is a modern and TCG pavilion. And of course, we have over 20 celebrity athletes and guests coming to sign for you. And one of those will join us this evening. Very excited to welcome in Katie Moon in a little bit, Olympic gold medalist, as well as renowned artist Jordan Spector will be joining us from Spector Sports Art. And so we've got a jam-packed show for you. The Topps Industry Conference is taking place out west. Lots of news to get to there. So without further ado, we will give you this week's hobby hits. And so the April release season kicks off with Panini Prism USA Stars and Stripes Baseball. Yahoo confirms the April 3rd release. Donruss Baseball 2026 returns April 29th with a deep rookie checklist. And Athlon spotlights the rarest cards dropping in April. They include an ultra scarce pull with 2026 Top Chrome Black 101 Superfractor Paul Skeens and Panini Stars and Stripes 101 Black Finite AJ Gracia. Both are projected to hit 5-figure PSA 10 values. The biggest news this week, though, as I mentioned, is coming out of the Topps Industry Conference. Topps has stunned the hobby with the return of NFL trading cards. Fanatics, the NFL, the NFLPA have announced a new multi-year exclusive deal bringing Topps football back for the very first time since 2016. The first product, 2025 Topps Chrome Football, drops April 15th with 101 Rookie Premier Patch Autos and NFL Honors Gold Shield Autos. The NFL Topps partnership includes global distribution and game used patch innovation. As USA confirms, the deal grants Fanatics Collectibles full rights to team logos, uniforms, branding, with global distribution and game used Gold Shield patches from 2024 award winners like Josh Allen and Saquon Barkley. Topps Chrome Basketball is officially coming with Victor Wembanyama autos. Topps confirmed Topps Chrome Basketball is on the way, including Wemby rookie cards and autographs, with the Superfractor auto previewed at the conference. These are unlicensed cards. There's no official logos, but the demand is already pretty massive for those cards. Topps Motif Football debuts with Fanatics exclusive athletes, including CJ Stroud. Topps also introduced game-used bat knob cards featuring players' own flagship cards printed on the bat. The MLB players are using bats with their Topps flagship card printed on the knob. After the bats are used, Topps will cut off the knobs, and then they will turn them into one-on-one autograph cards. It's one of the wildest memorabilia innovations of the year. Garbage Pail Kids and Green Day crossover set is announced. Topps revealed a collaboration featuring autographs and relics, merging music collectors and non-sports hobbyists in only the way Topps can. Topps also extended redemption windows to 10 years. This is big news coming out of the conference. It's a major collector-friendly change. All Topps redemptions now carry a 10-year expiration window, addressing one of the hobby's longest-running complaints. And finally, as we said, the Strongsville Sports Collectors Convention, co-located with the Great Lakes Collectors Convention, is April 10th through 12th at the Independence Fieldhouse. Over 500 tables, 20-plus autograph guests announced, and more on that coming up. So with that, we're going to go ahead and welcome in the man himself, the guy who allows us to do this week over the week, the namesake of Greeny Sports Cards himself. Let's go ahead and welcome in Steve Greenberg, a.k.a. Greeny.
Hey, Jeremy, happy Tuesday. When you said it was one of our favorite weeks, I thought you meant it was Masters Week, because I love Masters Week. Happens to fall on the Great Lakes Collectors Convention, so double fun. I think we had the Final Four here a couple years ago on Great Lakes Convention weekend. But it is Masters Week. I don't know if you saw Rory McIlroy's the past Masters Champions dinner. Some pretty cool stuff on there if you're a fan of the Irish flair. Speaking of one of the coolest items that I own is a Masters dinner menu from when Tiger Woods won the Slam. He won his fourth tournament to capture the Tiger Slam, and I have an autographed menu from the dinner from that night. So that's a pretty cool thing.
Very cool, Greeny. That's also a very cool segue, as you want to do. The question of the day actually is, what is your favorite non-trading card piece of memorabilia in your personal collection? This would be in honor of Katie Moon's appearance tonight, who is a huge collector. And by collector, I mean of medals and awards and all kinds of accolades. So we'll ask her if she's into any other memorabilia, but she certainly has an impressive collection. So in honor of that, we're asking, what is your favorite non-trading card piece of memorabilia in your personal collection?
The Tiger is one of mine. I have another cool thing that I'm going to share with Katie later that we all know about, but another cool piece of memorabilia that I have. So we'll save that one for later.
Very cool. So we encourage our audience to drop in the comment section below. This is a multi-stream, and you can catch us again on if you're watching on X or Facebook or Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, any of the social interwebs. Make sure you comment, interact. If you have questions for our guest, you can drop those below, and we'll be happy to interact and involve you in the show. So I could go all day with my stuff.
Let's talk about this Topps conference real quick, because it is kind of it's not kind of, it is a really big deal for the hobby. I've had the chance to go to several of these when I was out in Phoenix several years ago. Then it went over to the College Football Hall of Fame, was in Atlanta several times. Now it's back in Phoenix. And this is, I saw this earlier. Our friend Alex, Army ATC, posted this. The Fanatics American Express card is coming soon. Not exactly sure how I feel about that. Fanatics is taking every piece of the action, whether they're making cards, they have the clothing, they have a casino, they're selling break spots. They're great. Like it, and now that they're going to give you credit, uh, I, I'm pretty good with it. You're pretty good with it. There's a lot of people that aren't pretty good with it, and the breaking of boxes and all of those things, it can catch up to people really fast. So, but buyer beware. I know they say that on everything, but before you go down that road of this type of credit card, you really should watch what you're doing.
Sure. Interesting timing on the announcement too. Certainly on the heels of what Fanatics, I'm sorry, what Whatnot is dealing with in the legal realm. So the companies, it would seem they have to tread a little lightly, but Tops and Fanatics keep soldiering on. So um, evening, Coach Jack checking in with us as well. He'll be out at the Great Lakes Show this weekend. So, Greeny, no Joe tonight with hobby news. I used up a lot of my words with hobby hits. Normally we don't go that long, but making up for Joe's absence tonight. But huge show again with Katie Moon and Jordan Spector coming up a little bit later. And of course, before we get into Card Show Live, we can't do this. We can't do anything. The shows, the live broadcasts, the distribution of cards without the support of our sponsors. And one of those is Giannino's Pizzeria. We thank them for their support.
Hey, you! Yeah, you! I'm a year older now, so Mommy can give me Giannino's Pizza. Hey, whoever thought of making a great tasting Giannino's Pizza with all these fresh ingredients? They gotta be some kind of genius. More, Mommy!
Every Giannino's pizza is made with fresh dough, delicious tomato sauce without additives or preservatives, and fresh provolone cheese shredded daily. For a location near you, go to Gianninos.com.
You want a piece of me?
I actually had Giannino's for lunch, to be honest with you. We
What'd
ordered
you
it
have?
at the office. We had a pepperoni pizza for lunch today at the office.
Can't go wrong with pepperoni pizza, or their
No.
breadsticks, or their salads, or their salad dressing. They've got all kinds of stuff too, Green, right? Subs, chicken, you name it. If you're anywhere in Ohio, they've got locations all over the state, so make sure you check them out. Greeny, we talked about this being one of our favorite weeks. Certainly with the show, you've got March Madness concluding. We've got baseball kicking back up. The NFL draft is on the horizon. A great time for sports, great time for shows. We had a vision about 5 years ago when you had reached out to me with the idea of doing a show in Northeast Ohio, and that this market, you had a sense and a vision that the market could handle a much bigger show. You'd been doing monthly shows in Kirtland and the quarterly shows in Broadview Heights, but on the heels of the national, it sensed that Northeast Ohio could handle a much bigger show, and we jumped in and launched it 4 years ago. And I think this year, the culmination of all that and the team's work and the effort and the heavy lifting and all the things that went before it, what is going to take place this weekend has surpassed any of our imagination. And the co-location of the longest running vintage show and now the Great Lakes Show, which in its own right in 3 years grew to one of the biggest shows in the country. This is going to be a remarkable weekend, and would love to just kind of get your thoughts and what you're feeling a few days out from what is just going to be an incredible experience.
I'm excited. I'm really excited for people to see, and we do this every year. What we build every year, because it's not just laying tables out and opening the doors and having a card show. And let's be real, anybody can do that, right? Anybody can rent a hall, put some tables and chairs in there, and call it a show. We actually are providing an event and an experience with the broadcast lounge, now to add the autograph stage and to add the vintage pavilion with Strongsville side. It's going to be something. And from the opening tip Friday at noon, when the VIPs come in till 4 o'clock on Sunday, there's going to be a lot of action. So I'm really excited to see people come in. I mean, and the things that we've never provided before: valet parking. We're going to have a shuttle service. We have 3 different food trucks that are going to be out front, the coffee station. So a lot of things to do. There's going to be places for people to relax. They can watch the interviews that are going on. They could interact with them. They can sit and they can watch the autograph session. So, and I mean, it's just going to be a really cool open to close experience for people. And I'm really excited to really get people's feedback on how it is.
Yeah, I can't wait too. When we set about doing this a couple of years ago, the one thing I commented to you is I just don't want to do kind of that static hotel show, kind of what the industry was used to, and there's nothing wrong with that. There was a place for that, of putting tables out, and you think of kind of the old school smoky back rooms and people, sneaking off on a Saturday to go trade cards. It was not that it was taboo, but people didn't think of it in those terms. And now it's become so big. It's a family oriented experience. The hobby it's generational, as we've talked about. You've got grandparents walking around with kids and their kids, and some are collecting the TCG, the trading card games, from Pokemon to now One Piece. You've got Star Wars and Marvel, and at the heart of it is the baseball cards and football and basketball. And so it's really exciting to be in this space. Just the names that are going to be appearing this week, from Hall of Famers to local legends, and it's just I have a deep sense of pride. I have extreme butterflies, as I always do before events, and ultimately it's about making sure you take care of all the stakeholders, from the attendees to the vendors to the sponsors to the athletes, the celebrities. You just want everybody to come and experience something that they can't get anywhere else. And to me, that's the essence of an event, and why people will pay to attend. They pay for autographs, they pay for cards themselves, because without the nostalgia, without the memories, it is just a piece of cardboard. So I could go on, but really excited and really proud of the remarkable team, extensive team behind the scenes that people don't get to see, but it takes a village. So really looking forward to that. So any last thoughts before we jump into Card Show Live?
No, I mean, it's not only the experience, it is what people are really coming from, the cards and the memorabilia. And there is going to be stuff that you're not going to find at any other shows. And that's what's another part of this that people are forgetting. Like, yeah, it's all the different experiences and things they can see, but at the end, the core is a card show, and there is going to be a lot of them there.
500 tables is a lot of tables. So with that, this is not the only show taking place around the country, although we are personally vested, and we think it is one of the best signature events taking place this weekend. There are terrific events around the country, and we will showcase them here in Card Show Live.
Welcome on into this edition of Card Show Live. This is the Masters Weekend edition, and we're going to start in the heart of the Illinois show in Bloomington, Illinois. Dave Marvin has been putting this show on from Ridge Cards. This is the second one that he's doing in the Bloomington proper area, and actually I reached out and had a little conversation with him, and he started this show for a lot of people that don't want to brave the Rosemont, Chicago area and travel into that busy section. So he's got this show, and it's grown to 200 tables already in the second show, with plenty of room for more. He said he can fit up to 400 tables here at the Interstate Center in Bloomington, Illinois. They have a trade night Friday at the Little Beaver Brewery Company. So if you're heading out that way, April 10th and 11th, check out the Interstate Center, Bloomington, Illinois, Dave Marvin and Ridge Cards. And while you're there, you can head a little further west to St. Louis, where Coach Ron Estes has the Machinist Hall 3-day show, April 10th to the 12th. He's known in that area for putting on monthly shows and whatnot, but this is their big 3-day show. They'll have Nash Cards and JSA there accepting submissions and authentication. I know our friends at RBI Crew have a big to-do at this. Chase from Dugout is probably there from Columbia, Missouri, but a lot goes on there. So in the St. Louis area, that's the 3-day, 10th through the 12th, Machinist Hall with Coach Ron Estes. From there, you can go to Dubuque Sports Cards and Memorabilia Show in Iowa, right on the Mississippi River at the Eagles Club. David Orr runs this show. 30 tables, but man, it is a great show for the area. One of the typical local shows, right? You know, just 30 tables, but the Eagles Club, a lot of community people go to it. So Dubuque, Iowa, if you're in that area, check that show out. And then the VB Card Show in Methuen, I think that's how you pronounce it, Massachusetts, which is the longest running monthly show there in Massachusetts, 37 years in running, Sunday, April 12th. So looks like they have some signings there. John Busick, right, of the Boston Bruins, will be there signing. VB Cards, the longest running show monthly in Massachusetts, 37 years and counting. And then the show that we've been talking about, the Great Lakes Collectors Convention and the Strongsville Sports Collectors Convention, co-located in the Independence Fieldhouse this Saturday, April 10th through the 12th. We're going to welcome 500 tables in 2 different pavilions, the vintage on one side, the modern on the other. And we can't wait for everyone to experience the Independence Fieldhouse. What a terrific facility. And we haven't even spoken about that yet. It is an indoor basketball facility. It's got a nice floor. It's got a track around it. So it's high ceilings and everything you want. Independence High School campus is terrific. April 10th through the 12th. We look forward to seeing you guys at the Great Lakes Collectors Convention. And that, Jeremy, is Card Show Live for this Masters Weekend edition.
Very good. Yeah, we look forward to seeing everybody out at the Great Lakes Collectors Convention, including our first guest tonight, who is one of the greatest pole vaulters in American history. Katie Moon is an Olympic champion, a world champion, and the first woman in history to win 3 straight world championship gold medals in the pole vault. She won Olympic gold in Tokyo, Olympic silver in Paris, and has stood on podiums across every major global stage. She's right here from Northeast Ohio, proudly as well, and born in Lakewood, raised in Olmsted Falls. She went from a high school state champion to an NCAA champion, and of course, Olympic history and gold. It is our distinct pleasure to welcome into the show Katie Moon.
Hello.
Hey, Katie, how are you? Thanks for joining us.
How are you? Thank you for the intro.
Jeremy does a great job with that, and his introductions do not go unnoticed. So, Jeremy, thanks for those. Yeah.
My pleasure.
Yeah. So thanks for joining us. We're really excited to have you at this show. Being a Clevelander, being an Olympic champion. We were talking earlier. Jeremy asked, what's a favorite non-card memorabilia thing? Do you have anything cool other than medals that you own?
I mean, they give us a lot of gear, which is awesome.
Yeah, sure.
But I think the medals probably are the coolest thing that I own and maybe ever will own. So
what's the coolest thing you've autographed?
The coolest thing I've autographed, kids will bring in like stubbies of poles that have broken or, are cut short, and getting to sign those. I would say for me, it's pretty much track and field related, or just pictures of myself, which is great and very flattering. But yeah, I can't think of anything that's been like, I've signed body parts, like foreheads, like when I've gone to the kids get really excited. And but yeah,
I'm going to bring a unique item to you.
Okay.
We bought a collection of cards, and I was looking at the wall at this guy's house, and I said, "What is that?" And it was an Olympic torch, and that's awesome. In the 2002 Olympics was here in the United States.
Yeah.
And I think they made like 1,000 of them, but they go around the whole country and people carry them for like a half a mile.
Yeah.
And this guy carried a torch in Ohio here, and it's hanging on my wall. It is now not hanging on my wall. It is getting ready to come to the show, and I'm going to have you sign that.
Oh my gosh. That will now be the coolest thing I've ever signed.
Yeah. So, and Hope Solo is going to be at the show. I'm going to try to get her to sign it too.
Oh, I have not met her. That'd be awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a special achievement. We were trying to do the math and figure it out, Katie. We think by all accounts there's only 3 living gold medalists out of Northeast Ohio right now, including yourself and Layla Edwards, who just won gold with
Yeah.
Team USA, and Diana Muntz for swimming, won in Sydney. So you were in a very select group crowd here in Northeast Ohio, and was just looking at your resume. I half kiddingly said earlier, you're a collector, because you sure have collected a lot of accolades. Starting in high school, you were a state champion, Division II national champion at Ashland for the NCAA. You've won the Pan American Games silvers at the World Indoor Championships, gold at the World Athletics Championships. You've got a gold and a silver at the Olympic Games. This is a hobby show. I want to make the connection a little bit to what collectors can take away from your career as well. And I guess the first question would be the attention to detail that's required for pole vaulting in particular. Has some parallels to the amount of details that collectors go through. What can you talk about in the form of preparation, and what goes into a big event or a big iconic world event that you can talk about the attention to detail and preparation?
Yeah, I mean, everything that I do is very technical, so it really is all about staying very mentally on. And I know that sounds kind of obvious, but I think it's really easy to just kind of go through the motions and go to autopilot. And there are just so many fine details. With pole vaulting, it's so technical, and if you get away from your cues, then it's really easy for just like it's minute little things, but at the takeoff, if you're a little too close, a little too far away, then it's going to kind of change the whole trajectory of your jump. And so yeah, it really comes down to just staying kind of mentally on. That was the biggest thing that I changed working with my current coach, and the one that really took me to this level. And he was the coach that won me every major medal that I have, was how to think on the runway and how to focus and how to cue, and not just kind of go through the motions, and just making sure that, everything, you're very intentional with your thoughts, and then it bleeds into your actions. And so by practicing that way, it then works, your brain kind of works the same way, and you're able to focus through the emotions in the championship settings when all of the chaos and mental chaos is going on.
This might sound like, I don't even know the right word for it, but you have different things you use. How do you pick the actual pole, the stick? Like, is that something that like, it's not just you grab one off the shelf and you use it, right? Is there a preparation with that?
Yeah, so I actually traveled to a competition with around 10 different poles, because they vary in how long they are and how stiff they are. So when I warm up and I'm only coming in from a shorter approach, you're not bringing in as much speed. Think of them as a spring coil. The easier it is to press it down, it's not going to rebound as quickly. Ideally you want to get on a bigger, higher flexed pole. But it requires more energy, more speed, more power. And if you're able to bend the pole and get upside down on it, it's going to throw you way higher, way faster. So your potential is much, much higher. Your ceiling is much higher, but you have to be able to land safely into the pit. So yeah, I actually do have a variety of poles that I go to different competitions with. And I have a garage full of them. I actually just donated a bunch of them to a high school club. But, all of us that show up at a championship, we have our own poles. We only share in worst case scenarios. Our poles don't make it, but, we all are on different ranges and different sticks.
Is there a favorite? Like, do you have a favorite one? Is there one that like this is the winning one?
What's funny is my coach taught me that it's always the next one. Like, you don't get comfortable. You always want to like push, because if you are, eventually you will get to one that you can't get on the next one. And that's the one that's going to toss you. But for example, in 2021, when I went to the Olympic trials, I was on they're flex numbers. So the lower the number, the stiffer it is. So I was on my 16.8. And then at the Olympic Games, just about a month later, I was on 4 poles softer. So it just on any given day in any different, stadium, anything can be different. The wind is different. The plant box is different, where you literally put the pole in the ground to go up over the bar. It's just, everything's made by humans. And so human error, you just never know. On any given day, anything can be different. So yeah, we have a variety.
A former lifetime, Katie, I was an athlete, high school athlete. I've run in sports. I can imagine the track part of running. The field part completely escapes me.
Yeah.
I think it takes a remarkable human mindset and acumen to do what you do in pole vaulting. And I'm curious as to, it takes also a remarkable set of experiences for a young athlete in track to sort of come to that, to realize they can run down the track, they can plant the pole, they can launch themselves over a bar. Can you go back to that moment and remember what it was about attracting you to the sport, and what at a young age mentally prepared you to be capable to do that?
Yeah, I think when I was a kid, I was just so fearless and wanted the most adrenaline rush sport you could possibly imagine. So that worked out quite nicely. The older I got, the more I think I realized how potentially dangerous it was. So actually the fear element came in quite a bit later. But yeah, I started when I was 12, and I just loved anything involving upper body strength and, like I said, adrenaline. So I was trying every sport that I possibly could. And the first day they took us to the track, I saw the high schoolers doing it, and I begged my coaches for several days to let me go over and try it. They finally did. And yeah, I think as I got older, and, I talked about just learning how to think on the runway, and it really, it looks quite complicated, and obviously it is, but it can be pretty simple as long as you can cue and tell your body exactly how you want it to move. And my coach is a big advocate for the best athletes know how to think. They don't just shut their mind off, but they don't overthink it. And that's something we've worked really hard on for the last several years. And I'm very quick to believe the bad, if you will. I'm very quick. If I have a bad day, I'm a bad pole vaulter. It ruins my mood. Or at least it used to be like that. And so he helped me to kind of stay a little more calm about it and, think my way through it. And then now it's become one of my bigger strengths.
So at the Olympics, there's the Olympic Village, and you get to be with all these different athletes. Have you ever been starstruck?
Yes, a little bit. I did get to meet LeBron and like a bunch of the NBA players this most recent Olympics. That was really cool. Actually, you were talking about the Masters. I walked past some of the golfers in the Village. That was really cool. It was Colin Morikawa and I think Wyndham Clark. Is that right? Am I saying the right people that were at the Olympics? And I feel like I was more starstruck walking past them even than the NBA guys. Don't get me wrong. I don't even remember what I said to any of them, but I knew that I would not get the opportunity again. So I asked if I could get
Did you get a chance to go to any other events, like as a spectator?
I had the opportunity, and I actually opted out of it just because I knew that I needed to stay as focused as possible. So if I had stuck around a little bit, then I would have. But my husband's friend had a wedding in Italy like 2 days after my final, which was incredible. And it was nice because I got to go there and just decompress. But the first Olympics, we didn't get to go to anything. It was very, like with COVID, we weren't allowed anything. And so I think that really worked to my advantage. It just didn't allow for any distractions. And so I did try to keep it as consistent to that as I could. But obviously, what's going on, and I watch everything on my phone. I just knew going to the events would be it would take a lot out of you. So.
So the next games are in LA, right? In
Yes.
2028.
Yes, they are.
Is there a chance you're going to participate?
We're gonna try.
Okay.
We try out every like a month before the games, so it's not like a team sport where you need to build chemistry for a long period of time. So, I am 34, so I'm definitely getting onto the later side of my career. But with how well last year went, and as long as I can stay healthy and I'm enjoying it, there's no reason to hang it up. So we're gonna try, but I am gonna be very realistic about it, and everything at this point's a cherry on top, but it is a goal for sure.
Well, Katie, we're going to catch up with you again this weekend on
Yes.
Saturday at the Great
Yeah.
Lakes Collectors Convention. Greenie asked earlier about you collecting anything. Is there anything out there that you would like to see or would be a cool piece of memorabilia? Maybe it'll be out there this weekend.
My gosh, I'm a huge Cleveland sports fan, and I grew up, in the 90s with, that Indians team and, the Browns. And I just, there really would be, gosh, there's so many things. I loved the old Cavs, like blue uniforms. And so I'm sure there'll be things there that I'm going to be pretty excited about. And just like, we don't get trading cards. So my sport, that's not something we trade, but I've started trading bibs. So we get our name pinned on our uniform. And, so some of the girls I compete against, I've started trading those. So I am getting into it into my own way.
Well, fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, great. We look forward to seeing you this Saturday. You'll be in here at 1:00. We have a cool little interview that people can watch and sit, and then afterwards sign some autographs. And we'll be looking forward to seeing you this Saturday.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to it.
Cool. Thanks, Katie. We appreciate it.
Katie, thanks so much.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
See ya. Bye.
Very cool stuff, Greenie, and
Very
much more to
cool.
come this weekend out at the Independence Field House. We'll get to spend some more time diving into Katie's career and by the way, the autographs are free on Saturday with Katie Moon. So we encourage you to bring your families out, bring the kids out, come and meet an Olympic gold medalist from Northeast Ohio.
Yeah. So one of the things that I love doing at the Great Lakes Collectors Convention is, obviously I collect cards and we do all this, but we make a poster and we get it signed by either the celebrities that we have there and also all the vendors. I like to go around and get them to sign our poster. I sent Haley a picture of one of the ones from years past. This is one of the ones that we had. I think if I look, this is some of the guests that we had up on the stage. But yeah, it's a cool thing. I really enjoy walking around and talking to people and getting their take on the experience that they had at the show, how they did, whether they did well. Hopefully they all do well. But we ask because we want to know the answers to that.
Yeah, I've talked about this before, Greenie. While I collect stuff, and my wife certainly thinks I collect a lot of stuff and too much stuff, I'm not into the buying and selling of cards like a lot of the people in the hobby space. But my favorite things about these shows are the relationships and the partnerships and the vendors who participate. It's not possible to do this without them. So that's one of my favorite things, is just catching up with old friends, making new friends, and just enjoying the hobby space and without the pressure of did my investment work or not. So it was buying a little bit of time until we could show the exclusive sneak peek at this year's poster. Our thanks go out to Cody Dock with Big Play as well. This is a custom commemorative poster for the Great Lakes Collectors Convention and Strongsville, the first ever combined co-located experience. This will be Ohio's biggest vintage, modern, and TCG showcase. Again, over 500 tables, 20 celebrity autograph guests. We can't stress it enough. If you did not have plans to attend, you should make plans to attend any one of those 3 days, and you're going to see some really, really cool stuff in the hall.
You will, and there's other things that people can do there. But we get questions all the time. Can they get their cards graded on site? No, not on site, but we do have companies there that are taking submissions. CGC will be there in person, accepting submissions for their authentication service or their grading service, whether it's cards or comic books. You can bring those to CGC. TNT will be there, and they're one of the largest bulk submitters in the country, and you can submit your cards to them for PSA, Beckett, or SGC. I use them. You probably saw if you weren't, I posted a video today of one of my grading card orders that I got back from them recently. JSA will be there to authenticate autographs, so you can drop your autograph authentication items to them right at the show. And those are three of he's doing it. CGC, JSA, and TNT will all be there to help you with grading and authentication. So really cool things. And to have companies like that and to provide those services are things that we like to do.
And if you're looking for appraisals as well, Greeny, you've got 4 of the leading experts that'll be there as well on the Strongsville side. Bring your collections in, get them appraised, either by Leland's, Heritage Auctions, Mile High Card, or Hunt Auctions. Those services are all there. So if you've ever thought about what your collection might be worth, bring it into the room and they'll tell you. And then there's no shortage of people that will likely want to buy your offerings.
Yeah. And I just asked Haley if she can go to our Facebook page and pull up the floor plan that we posted yesterday. And we gave some frequently asked questions, and maybe we can go over a little bit of that while we're waiting for Jordan Spector to join us. But the layout of the show, we really want to give you a kind of an insight of what's happening. And it's a huge facility. And you can see on the right side, we have an arrow where the main entrance to the show will be, which is different than the years past, which is in the upper area where it's like a little half circle. So that's where the food trucks are going to be. And the main entrance will be down right in front of the main entrance to the high school. And then you'll walk in, you'll go through the autograph pavilion and right down into the hallway where you'll catch both shows, the Great Lakes Collectors Convention and the Strongsville Sports Collectors Convention in one roof. Plenty of restrooms. They're right there on the map. They're off the field house. They're in the lobby. There's some rooms to sit and relax, grab something to eat, and then get back on your feet and enjoy the show.
It's going to be a big one. And yeah, really excited for this weekend, and really excited for our next guest as well, who is one of the most recognizable sports artists in the country. Jordan Spector, founder of Spector Sports Arts, has built a national following for his high energy, emotionally charged artwork that captures the biggest moments and athletes in sports. He, as a former football player at Temple University, launched Spector Sports Arts in 2015 and has since created commission works for Fanatics, for NFLPA, Golden, the Eagles, the Phillies, and stars across all sports. His pieces have become a staple in the hobby, in locker rooms, and in fan collections nationwide. Tonight, he joins Greeny Sports Cards Live to talk about his journey, his creative process, and the intersection of art and the modern sports hobby. It is our distinct pleasure to welcome in Jordan Spector.
What's going on, guys? Let me get this centered.
Man, what's happening? Thanks for joining us.
Oh, my pleasure, my pleasure. And I love the intro. I don't know if I'm one of the most recognized in the nation, but I appreciate it. We'll go with that.
I don't know, man. Some of those cards are really cool, man. I've seen them. So
they are. We're gonna manifest that, if nothing else.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Come on now.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I was going through some of them, and Jason Kelsey. How is it working with him? Give us a little insight on our Cleveland guy here.
Oh man, Kelsey is a very down-to-earth guy. He really makes you feel welcome, or anybody that's in his presence. Like, he does not make anything bigger than it needs to be. So he's really awesome to work with and just awesome to be around. Every time that I've been around him, he's been, just like a dude that you're just hanging out with, having a beer with. So he really is who you
Garage
think he
beer,
would be.
of course.
Yeah,
Yeah,
garage
garage beer,
beer.
of course. Yeah.
That's right.
Gotta say
Uh,
that.
yeah, man. We love everything about the Kelseys here in Cleveland. Their podcast is absolutely hysterical.
It's
Watching
incredible.
him jump at the Bills game, and he breaks the tables. Jason Kelsey, that guy enjoys his life, no doubt.
He does. He's doing it right. He's doing it right. No doubt about that.
So Jordan, let's take you back a little bit. You were, I believe, a walk-on at Temple University, and your football career was cut short a little bit. How did that moment become the spark for you, or how did that transition to you into artistry and evolved into what it's become today?
I think the game of football has just always carried its way into my life. Just the dedication, the discipline, the hard work that I put into the sport just kind of carried into life in general, whether it was just going to college and finishing my academics or starting a business and pursuing that. And just staying consistent, right? Because a sport like football and trying to get to college or guys going to the NFL, like you got to be consistent with whatever it is you're doing. So I think the practices that I learned and kept in football carried into life in general. So that's always something that stuck with me. And I feel like I know other former athletes that are also creatives who kind of have that same mindset, and you can see it in them the way that they work.
But even before that, growing up as a kid, did you always, you must have dabbled in art. You must have knew that you can draw. Ever think that, one day I'm going to actually make this a career, a living out of doing something that I enjoy to do?
I really didn't. And I really love talking about where I am today because I really never thought I'd get to the point I'm at now in business and in the relationships that I've built and the collaborations that I've done. It's just been an incredible journey for me, and I always enjoy being able to talk about it and hopefully not just gloat about it, but inspire others that want to follow that path, follow that dream, and knowing that I literally started from nothing. Like I literally started from my dorm room in college, and you hear that a lot from entrepreneurs and successful artists or actors or musicians. That's how it starts. You got to start somewhere. So why not start now, right? And that was kind of my mindset when I began in college. But I originally began with no individual goal. I just was doing it because I enjoyed it, because I enjoyed creating, and at that time I enjoyed channeling the game of football through art because I can play more, but why not create art? Because that's my other talent and my other passion.
Jordan, the hobby is built on nostalgia and emotion, and it seemingly are those things that drive your artwork. What is your process that hones in on a specific moment? The Fernando Mendoza dive, it might be one of the more obvious ones, but how do you select a specific moment within a specific game and turn that into an iconic piece of art?
Um, it really is just whatever moment in time speaks to me, right? So like that moment, Mendoza, my most recent art print that we put out, that instantly in my head, I knew I was like, wow, like I was already following the story up until the playoffs and thought it was incredible what they were accomplishing. And it was basically handed to me that moment as an artist to be able to say, wow, what other time in history has this happened? Not only the journey that he had to get to where he was at, but that entire team. And then to end it on that play, the way that he did it, like so poetic, so epic, like it was a no-brainer for me. So a lot of my pieces kind of come about like that. I did a piece of Joe Burrow when they won a national championship in 2020 that went absolute viral in the Baton Rouge area, which led to me going on ESPN down there and all these other experiences. And it's just cool when you kind of just feel the inspiration and let go and just get to work, and that's what I do still to this day with a lot of pieces. And I don't do work that I don't enjoy doing most of the time. So yeah.
How interesting is it to see the reaction of the athlete when they get to see it for the first time?
It brings me a lot of joy when the reactions, especially more than I thought it would be, or they say something I didn't expect, or just overall appreciate what it is that I'm presenting to them. Because not every guy has a reaction. Not every guy really appreciates it like other guys might, which is fine, and that happens. But when you do have a guy that you've created a piece of and get to see their reaction, more than you would have expected, it's always a lot of fun. And I've learned as well to set my expectations low, because you really don't want to have this fantasy thought of you presenting a painting or something you create an athlete and them not liking it as much as you might have thought they would have. So, but it's always very rewarding when I'm able to have a great interaction and see a reaction that is priceless.
How did you land on the trading cards? Did you ever were collecting them as a kid growing up? Did you buy sell cards? Did you just think, I'm going to do artist. I'm going to make these posters or pictures, paintings, and then
Well, I've
I'm going
got
to become
some
a
right
trader.
next. I've got some right next to me that I'll start to show off if this camera allows me. This is I don't know why it's pointing out like that. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
I can. Randall
This
Cunningham.
is a Randall Cunningham. Yep. This is one of my most recent drops in March. This is autographed by him. So, the capabilities and the quality of the product I'm doing now has just come a long way. And I'm really excited about where it's at. Everything comes in an all touch now. We have the ceiling stickers up top, and this is just one of many. But the cards came about basically initially through watching and seeing the excitement in the hobby with Tops doing Project 2020 and all these like artist collaborations. And I knew some of the artists that were involved with them for some of their early projects when the hobby started to really take off when COVID hit. And I was kind of sitting on the sideline, enjoying what I was seeing and trying to learn more about the hobby, and also waiting and hoping that one of these companies would hit me up to do work for them, and they never did. So that kind of motivated me a little bit more just to do my own thing. I was like, well, I don't need them. I can figure out my own way to do trading cards and get into the hobby. So that's exactly what I did. And in 2023, I ended up spending, I don't know, 5, 6 months, probably even more than that, just thinking about it and then actually taking action, but really doing the due diligence to understand what the hobby's all about, how to make like real trading cards, not just me making them in a little studio, like working with an actual manufacturer to do serial numbered runs, to do to case them up properly, to have these custom boxes that we do with every project, these magnetized boxes, like every little detail, there was so much time and thought put into. And it's just evolved ever since. And I couldn't have picked a better guy to launch our first project with than Brian Dawkins in 2023, because that still to this day was one of our biggest projects ever. And that was quite a way to kick off Immortals. And Immortals along that process was something I came up with as the brand name and what I wanted my cards to embody, this kind of immortal feeling and telling the story that lives on forever through my art on a card. So that's kind of how it came to be.
Jordan, you've been an athlete, you've worked closely and collaborated with athletes. What's the most surprising thing you've learned about athletes throughout the art process and working with them?
The most surprising thing? I think the most surprising thing, at least initially when you're getting into this and you're working with athletes, is truly how normal a lot of them are and how much of a human they are, like we are, right? Because a lot of the time these guys get glorified. You just see them on TV, and naturally, you think that they're larger than life, when they're really not. And it's very refreshing when you do work with an athlete that is very normal and even keeled and is respectful and does all the right things, right? Because the point that I'm at, I've worked with guys that are great to work with and other guys that are not so great to work with, right? Guys that are professionals and guys that are not professionals, right? Because you're going to get both. So that's a part of the learning process as well. As I've explored this hobby and working with so many athletes, and so I know how it's supposed to look and how it's not supposed to look now. I can say for sure.
Have you looked, kind of researched yourself on the secondary market? You're making something of value. People are buying these. Eventually, people are going to resell them. Have you looked to see any of your cards on the secondary market?
Absolutely. I actually have a couple individuals who consistently update me with new sales on eBay, whether it's customers, or we do have some customers that are both, like they'll buy like 10 cards, for example, in a drop, keep 5 of them, sell 5 of them, just as an
Sure.
example. But we have quite a few collectors like that. Um, I'll give a shout out to my guy Frank Murphy, who is kind of like a mentor to me in the space, and he constantly will send me new eBay listings or new sales on eBay. And I'm always amazed to see some of these comps on eBay for my stuff. And it's exciting to see, right? Because that's another thing that I really want to accomplish is not only, the value to the collector who keeps it, but the value to the collector who wants to flip, right? So they can be comfortable if they're going to buy multiple to know, okay, there is value to this on a secondary market. And Jordan is not going anywhere. He's here to stay in the hobby for a long time. And, I still feel like we're just scratching the surface as far as the capabilities and the things that I'm going to do, but it's been really cool to see that secondary market effect. So
Well, Jordan, your art is terrific. We really appreciate it. Really appreciate your perspective on the hobby. Let everybody know where they can find you on the social media channels, on the website, if they want to purchase your art. Give us a sense where they can connect with you.
absolutely. So my Instagram is at Spectre_art. These things are still not showing up.
Yeah.
At Spectre
There you go.
underscore art. And then my website is spectresportsart.com. I've worked with over 50 athletes at this point, doing direct collaboration card drops with them. We did a whole series with pretty much the entire Eagles full team last year. It's a lot of Philly stuff, but I've been doing non-Philly stuff as well. So there's plenty to choose from on my website if you guys want to check it out. And before all that, there's also wall art that I still create, paintings that I do that we have drops of, art prints, canvases, all limited, signed by me. So go check it out. Instagram behind the scenes, spectresportsart.com to buy prints, canvases, trading cards. And yeah,
Yeah, we can't wait to
appreciate you
see
guys.
what's next on the horizon. We'll keep an eye on that.
There's a lot coming. There's a lot
Cool.
coming. So
Jordan,
thank you
man, we
guys.
Awesome.
appreciate your time. Thanks.
Appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, we'll stay in touch, Jordan. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for joining us tonight. Our thanks to Jordan Spectre, Spectre Sports Art.
Yeah.
Thank you to Katie Moon, who will be with us at the Great Lakes Collectors Convention and Strongsville Sports Collectors Convention this weekend. Our thanks to Haley on the board. Our thanks to all of you for checking in week over week, to Coach, to the Dude, to all of you watching out there for chiming in on the show. Thanks for your support and your continued participation. You can catch Greeny and I every Tuesday night live, 7, 8 p.m. Eastern, as we continue to do this week over week. Greeny, thank you. Really looking forward to this weekend. We have some awesome stuff in store, and some big announcements that will be coming out of this weekend.
Yeah. And then we can't wait to see you this Friday, Saturday, Sunday, April 10th through the 12th at the Great Lakes Collectors Convention, along with the Strongsville Sports Collectors Convention. 2 shows in one, 2 shows, 1 destination. And we will see you this weekend. And with that, have a good night, everybody.
May the cards forever be in your favor.